It is morning in America here, and I am under the expressway down at the on-ramp out of Nashville toward Memphis and Louisville beyond. May not recognize this on-ramp because I'm broadcasting here and recording here in daylight. Last time I was here, I was squatting here and said yonder, now where all the shit is that the children behind me have left behind. For those to follow who follow, you know, can clean up like their mothers. Yeah, so you may not recognize it now. I don't recognize it myself. But I squatted here until one night when a Nashville police officer disturbed my slumber, probably at about 3 a.m., and marched me yonder up on-ramp to two black Chargers, one behind the other, over on the side there, unmarked. By this time I was already handcuffed, and but it was true. I wasn't being taken for a ride by a Uber driver, or, even though both cars were unmarked, I was driven to the police station and never returned here again. So it's been about 3 years, and but I thought I would come back here kind of as like an update, if you will, to where I am now, kind of thing here on the road, as this leads to Louisville and Memphis and interstate. I told a story here. I had a vlog here about an encounter I had with some young man in a parking garage in California when I was homeless in Pasadena. And just to recount quickly, this kid would purposely park in like the far end of the garage and purposely make a lot of noise every morning when he would come in, purposely, to wake me, And one day I confronted him, and I wanted to know, he obviously knew I was homeless, and but it was like this persecution. He had to there was this punishment he had to do for me, to me, and I couldn't understand why he lacked any sort of civility or humanity, And I said, why are you doing this? You got the whole garage to park in, you're parking at, and he said, you're homeless. I can do whatever I want. All right, so it's been 3 years since I made that vlog and recounted that story about years and years ago in Pasadena, California. Let me give you an update where I've been in the last 3 years. And I thought to myself, I have this whole list, I can go down, It's I didn't know if I should go with the personal experiences or my experiences with institutions like men's homeless shelters, you know. I didn't know which way to go, you know. Like I've had personal encounters with lovely neighbors. You know, I can recall the woman in Connecticut in the middle of winter kicking me out of the library in Shaker because she wouldn't let me eat there in the library. So I literally had to go to a bus bench outside in the snow and cold to eat my lunch. I could, let's see, well, you know, it goes on from there, but, you know, that's one personal recollection, you know. Could talk about, you know, the disabled black woman in the wheelchair in Columbus, who even with the neighbor standing next to me would not let me in and spend the night in this woman's apartment, which, you know, Catholic Charities owned for the homeless and enabling, you know, because I did not have ID, you know, because it was stolen from some neighborhood kid, I guess. Anyway, so I had to spend like the coldest night in Columbus outside because, you know, she did not have the authority to use humanity. But those are like personal little pet peeves of mine over the years. But let's talk about the institutionals, the homeless shelters, the men's shelters, okay? Well, right here in Nashville, you have the Mission over there. God-fearing men, you know, a parson that looks like, you know, Steven Spielberg, you know, and you have a shower over there. And this was, I used when I was here 3 years ago, because this was before Planet Fitness. An inspiration to get a membership, I might add. But I remember in the middle of July being here, and there was nothing but hot water in the shelters, you know, over there at the Mission. And the more you would punch the wall to get more water, the hotter the water would become. Yeah. Until finally you had to jump out and just quit. You know, it's a nice little persecution there. I thought it was kind of quaint. There's also Houston with the Salvation Army there, you know. First time in, I think the boys gave me a bunk up top, right underneath the vent. Okay, so spent the night freezing as the air conditioning was turned up full blast, and I could not get to sleep because the air was on me the entire night. The other times I went there, they had a baggage check every time. Can't take your bag in, okay? And I use my bag, you know, it's a pillow. Well, you have to check the bag. And I'm like, well, I need the bag. No, you can't take the bag in. So every time I had to go to the Salvation Army there outside of Houston, by the college there, I had to check my bag. And of course I was going every day because I just love these people and these fine institutions there for the homeless in the community. And they always put me in some bad place, you know, on the floor or, you know, next to morons from the neighborhood who kept, you know, screwing with me all night. Anyways, down the road, I was doing my laundry, empty the bag and doing my laundry. And I kept noticing, like, I'd be missing like a sock, or, like one sock, I'd end up with like an odd sock. And I'm thinking to myself, when has anybody ever had my bag but me? And then I realized the only time the bag was out of my hands was when I had to check it with, the latest boy checking the bags at the Salvation Army men's shelter. It's morning in America here, in Music City, and we're at the interstate. Have a blessed day, and love one another.